What up, YouTube? This Doe Grower. We're back in the garden with the Dream Lotus. 9 of them here in 45-gallon pots of cocoa. And today, I think it's June 25th, so they've been out here like 25 days or something. And they're already the tallest one. That one is about 4 foot 8 inches from the ground. So you know, that's substantial growth in just 25 days. They were what, a foot tall in 2-gallon pots, something like that. So anyway, the nutrient regimen, not much has changed, but I'll go over it again. Full Power is that's your mineral chelator, and normally I would have a bottle of Dark Energy as a protein chelator out right now. I'll be making another trip to the shop this week. And then, so last video, one of the homies in the comments made a comment about silica being good for heat stress, and of course that's correct. I just had forgotten to mention it and didn't have it at the time, but yeah, silica for heat stress, and also I'm out of the Vitamino, which is also great for heat stress. This Full Power is also good for heat stress too, and that's a big deal. If you haven't noticed, I'm kind of concentrating on that because we get some hot days around here. It's already cracked 108 last week for one day. It's lately been about 95 or 96 though. So anyway, and the mother plant A and B is the bulk of the base. And then I'm also out of, I'll be re-upping on all these things when I go to the shop, is Hydrozyme, the Vitamino, Roots Accelerator, and Carboload. And I know a lot of these things are typically used in flower, but I just feel like all these things are helpful and serve a purpose at the moment. I did give on transplant, the week of transplant, or week after transplant, I gave these ladies a solid week's worth of treatment of Great White. Is a bacteria inoculant, and I gave them molasses at that time to kind of start off the bacteria. But in the meantime, I've been giving them the Carboload every day, and I just feel like it's extra energy for the bacteria, extra energy in the root zone, and hopefully accelerated growth, as well as the, with the Vitamino providing amino acids readily available. And so anyway, that's it. That's the whole regimen. I don't even have it all at the moment, but that's all I'm using for veg. It's very effective in this cocoa. There's nothing else I really need. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the silica. So I was at the shop and I asked the guy what his favorite silica was. He recommended that Bulletproof by Cutting Edge. And I've used a number of them and never really looked into it with any detail, but after I read about it for a little while, you basically have two kinds. You have the silica, I think it's silica phosphate, and silica dioxide. This is the silica dioxide. Now, most of them, if I'm not mistaken, like the Rhino Skin and the Silica Blast and that, they use the silica phosphate. And the silica phosphate is great. The only thing is that it tends to form limescale and buildup, like on your irrigation lines or your pump or whatever. I've never experienced this, but this is what I read. And so the silica dioxide is the alternative, and it doesn't form the limescale, but the downside is that it's not water soluble. The phosphate is very water soluble. This stuff, you might even be able to see. I just stirred this and I can already make out the little particulates. It just tends to fall out of solution very quickly. So I try to come and stir it every couple minutes or so. It doesn't make a difference as far as availability of the plant, but it just, it's not water soluble. It takes a constant, well, I wish I had what I need is a circulation pump. I could be stirring that reservoir around constantly. But so what I figure the best thing to do is probably just use both. I might do that. I might splurge on 2 forms of silica. Anyway, and the other thing I wanted to show for these outdoor guys, this is super. Man, I find these little meters to be super handy. This is a flow meter. You can get these at Home Depot for like $15, and you can see it ticking away there, kind of slowly, but it's going, and that shows me how much has been pumped through this line. And also have one on this is my freshwater in to fill my reservoirs and stuff. So I have another one here, and I'm letting it run to keep it from getting hot, because it'll get hot if you let the water sit in there. And when this reservoir is empty, I'll rinse it out and flush the line with fresh water to keep the nutrient from building up in the line. But anyway, with those meters, I can measure exactly how much water I dump in this res. I can measure exactly how much is pumped out, and that's super helpful for making sure all these plants get the same amount. It's still just slightly sketchy. What I do is so if I have 50 gallons, I figure on 45 gallons because there's probably a gallon or two in the line, and I mix up 50 gallons worth of newts, and I start pumping, and whenever I've hit 15 gallons, I close the first valve, 15 gallons for these 3 plants, and I will walk over and open the second valve and let those 3 get 15 gallons, 5 gallons each, and then I do the same for the last row, and that's my 45 gallons, and usually by then there's a gallon or 2 left, and I just dump it somewhere in one of the plants. But yeah, man, it's pretty effective. There's no guesswork in how much nutrient or how much water have these plants gotten the same amount as these plants. You know, it's pretty much right on. If I really wanted to go baller with it, I could install another one. I could install one on every single pot, and that would be cool. But those little meters are $15 each. I thought about doing that at the beginning of the season, but I've done it. At this point, I've realized, like, the plants are all growing and they're all the same size. So I'm pretty sure they're all getting pretty close to the same amount. If I know that this line is getting 15 gallons, I just leave these valves and I tweak them every now and then if I feel like one's getting a little more. But if I know that these 3 are getting 15 gallons, I can divide that up evenly with the valves. And I know that each plant's getting 5 gallons. So, and that's the other thing I wanted to mention. They up until this point, they've been getting about 30 gallons twice a day total, the whole group, and now I've raised that to 50 gallons twice a day. And they seem to be, just barely get the smallest little bit of runoff at the bottom of the plant. So I know they're happy with that amount, and they're drinking it up. They seem to be happy and healthy. This plant over here is about 4 foot 8 inches tall, and we've still got about 35-40 days of growth left, so they're gonna be biggins. Anyway, guys, that's the update. I went over the regimen, not a whole lot else to mention, and I'll be making another update around the beginning of July. Cheers, guys.